Hello, my name is Flavia Oliveira. I am a PhD candidate at the Environmental Studies Department of the University of California, Santa Cruz, and I was a RIFA fellow for 6 months. In my research, I study local institutions that underlie or shape the management of natural resources in a specific traditional farming system from southern Brazil called faxinal. Just to clarify, what I mean by institution is a bundle of both formal and informal rules that will shape political, social, and economic relations in a system, as well as the relationship between resource users and the resources they manage. More specifically, I'm interested in understanding how these rules and the system in which they are built handle the pressures from the global market of agricultural commodity and intensify production. So for that, I ask questions such as when or in which circumstances are these traditional farming systems and their rules able to continue existing through resistance and or adaptation while facing these pressures from intensified production and continue producing sustainable outcomes such as forest conservation. The forest we're talking about is the Araucaria forest, named after the Araucaria tree. The Araucaria tree is a pine tree, it's a gymnosperm, and it produces this huge pine nut that has been an important source of nutrients and carbohydrates for populations in this part of the world forever. The Araucaria forest is highly endangered. Currently, there are a number of efforts focused on protecting this forest, and there's evidence that the faxinal system is just another ally for protecting and recovering this forest. The evidence that the faxinal helps with the conservation and recovery of the Araucaria forest is based on how the system works. The faxinal is an area where people raise animals free range and communally. And in this area where people are raising their animals communally, they're not supposed to cut the forest down. And this is a traditional rule of the faxinal. So you can see here from this fence towards that direction is where you have the faxinal system, and from this fence on the other direction is where they have their agricultural areas. To answer my research questions, I use social and ecological data to compare communities of faxinal that still maintain their traditional rules of communal land management with those that have already completely transitioned into a different land use system. I've been working in collaboration with ECOE, the Human Ecology and Ethnobotany Lab of the Federal University of Santa Catarina, and with NEMA, the Ecology and Environmental Monitoring Research Center of the Federal University of the Vale do São Francisco. My partnership with NEMA was facilitated by the RIFA Fellowship, and during the months that I was funded by RIFA, I worked with my research partners at NEMA, conducting spatial analysis to look at changes in forest cover in my study sites. During this period, I was also able to visit and select all the communities I'm going to work with. I tested all my questionnaires and also planned the logistics of the next phase of my research, focused on the natural regeneration assessment of forest fragments within communities of faxinal. I conducted interviews with community members and community leaders, as well as with government agents and researchers that work directly with communities of faxinal. I participated in guided walks with key informants, which helped me better understand the land management strategies of the faxinal. And I also participated in meetings organized by both the local government and the communities, where I could present myself and my work and understand the social-political context of my study sites. In Brazil, traditional communities like the faxinal play a key role in food security and the conservation of natural resources. Yet, they have been historically marginalized and have to fight for their rights on a daily basis. In one of my research sites, many families have just been evicted, and thousands of others are threatened of getting kicked out of their lands due to a historical conflict with a logging company accused of using violence and fraud to displace small farmers in the region. The results of my research can not only help us understand how local rules operate in small communities to generate more sustainable land management strategies, but also provide these communities with bargaining power within the Brazilian society so they can be treated with more dignity and better protect their livelihoods.